confusing. That Juanma corner is better paced and strict attention now. If this guy doesn't pick up, turn his fight around, it'll look to kind of call it a day. Mercy. He's been caught by surprise. He's a good fighter. He had no idea. Pacquiao may take care of it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel. We're going to continue? When have you ever seen a fighter say, I'm not okay?
There's a weariness and almost a resignation in the eyes of that Vargas.
And Joe Cortez has seen enough. That's a TKO victory for the very impressive Manny Pacquiao, who takes a good fighter and just takes him apart with power shots. That's what we're talking about. Pacquiao took the fight on 2 weeks' notice. Juanma thought he was going to be fighting against a fighter named Enrique Sanchez. As George said, he got surprised here.
I think Pacquiao established himself as a crowd-pleasing entry into the featherweight division tonight. I had never seen him. I frankly had never heard of him. But I've seen and heard of him now.
And you want to see him again?
I want to see him again.
I do too.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 73rd edition of the Next Big Pod. As you can guess, we're focusing on Pacquiao this week, as there's not been much else to talk about apart from Paul David Webb's betrayal, which we will get to shortly. Joined by Paul Ainsworth, Ainsley, and Samuel Carpenter. Unfortunately, Dewey Powell couldn't be with us tonight as he is at his parents' house, being grounded or something.
I believe that's coupled with the fact that there's no internet in that part of Wales.
Yes, he's outside Cardiff Station, so there's very little internet. Yeah, outside Cardiff Uni campus, there's very, very little sort of any technology really. But yeah, so Dewey's in a black hole, but he'll be back next week, I guess. Probably do a slightly shorter show today, just because there's not that much to talk about especially in terms of reviewing the past weekend. I mean, I only watched one fight. I don't know if there were any others that went on, but it was quite influential, I suppose, especially in terms of the Dream Boy rankings. I haven't watched the entire. This is obviously the Cruz. Orlando. Orlando? What am I talking about?
What are you on about?
Got Orlando Cruz on the brain.
I wonder why.
Yeah, just coincidence. Could have been any boxer. What's his name? Wilfredo Vasquez Jr. against Juan Manuel Lopez in Puerto Rico. Not for any title, not for any particular ranking or anything like that.
Just
but it was
for the
fun.
pride of Puerto Rico, innit?
Pride of Puerto Rico, exactly. Two sort of big names on the island who are well past their best. Good fun fight. Did either of you two watch the whole thing?
I've
a breakdown.
I've watched the important parts of it.
I was at a wedding. I haven't seen fuck all other than the clip at the end where he nearly gets iced by a trainer.
You getting married again, mate?
Not me, no.
I had a quick. I've not. If anyone's got the link for it, just send it me because I'll probably watch it. But I had a quick look the other day and couldn't find anything.
So I watched the last 3 rounds and then obviously the knockout. Before we get onto that, Juanma won with what was it? Was it the 11th round? It was really close, wasn't it? 11th round stoppage, which I actually thought it was a bit of a premature stoppage, to be perfectly honest. I thought but the referee didn't even give him the chance to recover or count. I felt it was a case, the part that I've watched, Vasquez was well ahead on the cards apparently and had outboxed him sort of quite convincingly. But I don't know what he was doing up at 126. Vasquez isn't a featherweight. He was pretty small at bantamweight. Danair dwarfed him down at bantam, and Lopez is a much bigger guy. So I think the size ultimately told. But obviously, Juanma knocked him out, and then Ainsley, what happened after?
Potentially one of the greatest things you'll ever see in a boxing ring. So the ref stops the fight. Juanma disappears off picture, and you sort of see I think it's some ice goes in his direction. So he sort of gesticulates to corner. You can't see it at that point. He then runs to the trainer, who just fucking lands a perfect little check left hook, rocks into his boots, lands another one, and then Juanma's just fucking loading up on him, and then another fat guy runs in, and it was just madness. But
yeah, I mean, I saw it at the time, and it looked like a bit of a scuffle. But if you watch the replay, Lopez takes 2 clean punches from the trainer, who's obviously not wearing gloves, and I thought he did quite well to stay up.
But it's not that. You got to think he's just been in a fight for 11 rounds, and he ran towards him, so he's literally getting hit. And obviously, you're not gonna. He obviously didn't expect it, but I think you can give him a bit of slack. But still, it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Even now, I'm just.
It's worth watching the fight just for that moment alone, and obviously that will have implications for the Dream Boy Championship.
Yeah, that will
The Dream Boy rankings, because Juanma, not only did he get probably the biggest win by a Puerto Rican fighter in about 5 years, but also obviously fought the trainer as well. So yeah, good little fight. Some people are saying it was fight of the year. Absolute fucking nonsense. Whoever said that is a fucking idiot. I think it was someone on the asylum.
I think Donny tweeted.
Yeah, if that's a fight of the year candidate, then we're in serious trouble. But Carpy, did you see it, mate? Or
no, I've just seen the ending. I've seen the stoppage, and obviously him get planted by the trainer.
Yeah, and I really, really thought if you watch it back, I was very impressed that he stood up to the punch, because it was a clean shot on the side of the jaw without gloves on, and he like Angel said, he literally ran onto it. He was running across the ring.
The trainer shoulder rolled the first shot that came from Juanma as well, and then countered him. It's lovely.
I don't know who the trainer is. I presume he's obviously an ex-fighter himself, but yeah, he looked quite useful.
Just imagine for a sec if Joe Gallagher. That happened to Tesco Joe.
Well, yeah, it's what we were all saying, wasn't it? One of the questions was, which trainer would you most like to see in that situation? And I guess that can be interpreted either as which trainer do you think could sort of beat the shit out of a fighter, or which guy would you most like to see smash?
Right, a trainer to beat shit out of a fighter. I'd pick Peter Fury. Would take most people down.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Peter Fury gets attacked by Stephen Smith, and then Peter Fury just lays him out. Someone is way smaller.
But the trainer wasn't that big, was he?
He didn't look much taller than. I mean, Lopez is 5'5", and the guy didn't look that much taller.
No, so it can't have been that hench.
I really want to know who he was. I don't.
To be fair,
I don't even know if it was his trainer. It could have been the cut man or something.
If that had been Amir Khan and he landed that left hook on him, Khan would have been out.
Well, it's a weird one, because I mean, Lopez is obviously completely shot and hadn't fought for almost 2 years. I think he'd lost 4 of his last 5. Fuck's sake, 4 of his last 5 by knockout. And racked up very bad stoppage losses in the last sort of year of his career. But he's now talking about the Gamboa fight, which is ridiculous. But to be honest, it's stupid enough that it actually might happen, because Gamboa's desperate for a fight, isn't he? And can't get on TV at the moment. So you never know. They might end up doing that. 6 years later than it should have happened. And Gamboa would really hurt him, I think.
I want to see the fight with the trainer first.
What about 50 Cent versus that trainer? And that's on the undercard to Lopez against Gamboa.
Yeah, with the winners face off.
The winners face off and get a shot possibly at a Dream Boy title in the future down the line. But
Cotto would probably want to fight the winner, wouldn't he?
Cotto would drag Juanma up to 154 or whatever. Yeah. Right, so that was literally, unless anyone saw anything else, that was literally the only fight I watched.
Tom Dallas got sparked by a journeyman on Saturday.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't he? The guy was 3-6 or something, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was his first KO win this journeyman, I think.
Mental.
But
what's Dallas's record now?
Oh, it must be like 11. Oh no, I think it was 15-0 when he fought Price. So it must be like 18-7 or something. Let's have a look.
Mental.
I've seen an article though that he done last week. He's like, oh yeah, I've had all these injuries. I'm back now though, but I'm going to be trying to get a British title.
How was he so hot? I just don't get it.
17 wins, 12 KOs, 6 losses, all by KO, obviously.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, he fought Ian Lewison in 2013, got iced. 18 months off, fought Charles Martin, got iced. 18 months off, fought a bum, got iced. So, 2018, guess who's back?
Yeah. He'll be back. Who will he? He'll probably be fighting what, Dillian White in 18?
No, it'll be Joshua in
Final
undisputed titles, won't it?
I've read he's apparently Joshua's chief sparring partner for most of his camps.
Nice.
Better than him fighting. Well, better than him using unnamed amateur boxers, though, isn't it?
Lawrence Okoli.
Maybe not. I don't know.
What about Larry O against Dallas?
He could fight that.
That could be the chief support for Joshua against
Did you?
Molina.
I've seen. Who was it for? Like Larry O against Sam Sexton. And
do you think we should put? I've had a thought. Should we put Hearn on the Dream Boy list for icing the Asylum last night?
No, because apparently he is going to go on still.
yeah.
Bullshit.
But
Go
we'll
on,
see.
go on and get shouted at by a bald nonce. Let's keep saying stuff like that and see if he notices it. Because I have a theory. I have a theory that Andy does listen and just pretends he doesn't. But anyway, yeah. Right.
Let's segue into the trespass news now while we're on about this. Basically,
yes, some housekeeping. Yeah, you go for it.
So, for the past few weeks, you may have noticed that Trespass has not been on the Asylum.
Past few months, he hasn't been on for the summer.
Oh, basically, he's been cozying up to us a lot. We don't know why. Well, we do now. But anyway, he was offered to come on here, and he said a while ago, oh yeah, I'll come on. Seeing as he got booted out of the Asylum, we thought we'll offer him home to talk his bullshit about Midlands boxing. Other than a brief cameo last week and then he disappeared, he's not been on. And we have since discovered his plot has been to play next big pod off against the Asylum to try and leverage a position. So he's now been banned.
We believe, for full disclosure, it's become apparent that Paul doesn't really have any interest in coming on the next big pod. And we believe he is using us to sort of keep in touch with the Asylum indirectly, which sounds really odd, but he's within the sort of broadest podcasting circle. I think he's too proud to ask for his place on the Asylum back. He wants to be asked, but at the same time, Andy and Tommy are never going to actually ask him back on. So he's basically trying to leverage us against them, and we're not having it. And he is now banned from both pods. It's blown up in his face.
We don't care that he don't want to come on. It's just that he told us he was, and then it's a bit of a strange one.
He's been a cock tease, and like any girl who teases a hot-blooded group of young men like us, there's going to be hell to pay, quite frankly. Right? Was that your sort of philosophy going into the wedding at the weekend?
I won't listen to what you were saying. I was watching a video of Victor Ortiz calling out Brandon Rios then.
Well, we can get to that, mate. That was on the news section because I think that fight might actually happen now.
Yeah. Let's just, while we're on the housekeeping topic, again, even though this comes up every week, there's a few people asking why Brian's not on. And one person's described as Mayweather and someone else is described as a big hitter. He's neither of those two things, I can assure you.
When Brian comes back on in the future,
he won't come back on though, right?
If he ever did at any point in the future, please don't tweet us 5 minutes before the show saying, is Brian going to come on? If Brian's coming on, he's the biggest self-promoter in the sport. We will be
Did he
talking
go on
about
the
it.
asylum yesterday for 10 minutes and spoke about himself for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
He was on the asylum when they were celebrating their 200th show. Congratulations to them, by the way. That's a 4 years worth of pods. It's a good achievement.
Yeah.
They were doing their 200th show, and Brian went on and just talked about himself, and he's not even part of it. It's absolutely mental. It was a historic episode last night, but it was a
Yeah.
wasn't too much analysis. But congratulations to them anyway. We have no ill will.
Basically, look, Brian went because there were some creative differences. I have no personal issue with him.
Yeah, we've got no issue with Brian. If Brian tweeted us right now saying, "Can I call in?" he'd be allowed to. If Press Pass tweeted us right now saying, "Can I call in?" we would probably block his account. Actually, I think it might already be blocked. Press Pass is not welcome. He's an enemy of the show.
Well, I've heard rumours about a boxing scene podcast starting with Press Pass and Foz.
Oh dear.
The rumours were posted by Foz's account, I'm assuming. Might have to block Foz as well, to be honest with you.
I need to block Press Pass. I blocked Brian, but we had severe creative differences. Yeah. But Brian is many steps on the ladder above Press Pass in many ways. But I feel we're giving Press Pass too much promotion.
Yeah, we are. Look, just once and for all, Brian is not an enemy of the show. He just isn't on it at the moment. He's not banned or anything like that. If he is ever back on, he will let you know about it. Okay, don't worry.
You'll get a full fucking 2-day build up to it.
Exactly. Brian will not forget to promote his own appearance. That won't happen. Right. So the housekeeping's taken care of. We've reviewed we've reviewed Tom Dallas and Juanma Lopez, and we're 20 minutes into the show. This is we are scraping the fucking bottom here.
This is awful. Yeah, this is a reflection of the year in boxing.
Right, let's move on to something a bit more positive. Right, now, we've had the news recently, and I'm aware that obviously there's a bit to preview, but we'll get onto that later. We had the news recently of this, biggest news of the last week probably is was it 7 fights announced by Showtime or 6? I forget, but we had
7, I think.
December. We had Broner versus Granados in February. We've had Garcia versus Thurman in March. We've had De Gale versus Jack and
Frampton and Santa Cruz.
And then Frampton versus Santa Cruz 2, all in January, I believe.
And then was there another one floating around? I'm sure there was another one.
Abner Mares and Quella.
Oh yeah,
is that on an undercard?
That's December.
Yeah, I think isn't that on the Charlo Williams undercard?
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
It is. So, that's a good card.
So yeah, there's two very good cards there. There's one brilliant card there. That's the Frampton Santa Cruz 2 with Garcia Zlatan, and that's a 5-star card. And then you've got obviously Garcia versus Thurman, good fight, unification. That's what we want. And then what's his name? The last one, Granados versus Broner, which could really go one of two ways. I think it could either be a size thing where Broner is able to just sort of push him around, or it could turn into a real war because Granados has got exactly the right type of style that's given Broner problems in the past. Anyway,
my worry.
Sorry, mate. We'll get into the specifics in a sec, but I was just saying,
cool.
6 really, really good fights for the next 12 weeks or so. Question to you two is: does this do enough to save or to sort of salvage the year?
Well, no, because a lot of it's next year. I know I've been pedantic in saying it, but I mean,
yeah. But does the news coming now kind of wash the bad taste out?
No,
because we were all getting fucking sick of it.
I don't think this year's been as bad as last year. I really don't.
This has been I think this has been one of the worst years. Like, no. This is last year. There was fucking Mayo with Pacquiao, and everyone.
But I know we got the 3 fights that we all wanted. Well, 2 of the fights we wanted, and the other one was a big one. But Mayweather Pacquiao was dreadful. Canelo Cotto was dreadful, and Fury Klitschko was dreadful.
But you can't.
I actually think 2014 was worse than both.
Yeah.
2014 was so shit.
I agree with that. 2014 was the worst year I can remember. Yeah.
But I mean, like,
there wasn't a single 5-star fight in 2014.
But like, I mean, the fights themselves can be shit, right? There can be no action in it, but at least you've got fucking guys fighting each other. This year has literally been people in showcases.
I'm going to read you. Let's actually. It's a good point. We should try and rank the years. I'm going to read you a few of the highlights from last year. First of all, so from 2015, we had a few fights that I enjoyed personally. We had Alvarez Kirkland, good fight. And again, I'm not saying these were like the biggest, most significant fights. Just fights that turned out to be good. Joshua versus White did turn out to be a fun fight. We had what's his name? Do you remember Afolabi against Chakayev? I enjoyed that one.
Oh yeah.
Fonfara
That was
cleverly.
the Russian card, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That Russian card was immense.
Yeah, and all the favourites got knocked out. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Fonfara versus Cleverly, that was a good one. We had Pricey getting iced by Tepper. That was good. Pete and Butler, that was good. Literally, Dewey has joined the call because we mentioned Cleverly Fonfara. That is mental.
Are you joking? Have you mentioned that?
We literally just mentioned it.
Genuinely, and you've just immediately appeared.
All right, you've got me for about 15 minutes. What have I missed?
We've just basically recapped on the press pass situation. Talked about the Puerto Rican fight on Saturday, and now we're just saying how shit this year's been.
Dewey, what we're doing at the moment, mate, is we're trying to work out which was the worst year, 2014, 2015, or 2016. It's a tough one because they were all shy. Another good fight from last year, Jennings versus Ortiz. I did quite enjoy that one.
Last year, though, I know it wasn't a great fight, but we did finally have Mayweather Pacquiao.
Yeah, I said that, yeah.
A couple months after that, we had Cotto Canelo.
But and we also had my personal highlight, Big Enzo icing Roy Jones. That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, it did.
I'm looking at... Okay,
there really hasn't been a lot this year. I can't think of a year as bad as this one for a long time. I think this year by far is the worst.
We've had. Well, what's the highlight of this year? Probably Frampton Santa Cruz, right? I mean,
Salido Vargas.
Well, the highlight's still to come, isn't there? In just under 3 weeks, we're going to have Kovalev Ward, which is the best fight in boxing.
That was the original point, Dewey. We've got the last 2 months of the year are really good. And does that do enough to save the year? That's what we're trying to sort of figure out.
If they're all 5-star fights and they're all...
No, you can't do it like that. You have to do it on the matchup and just...
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
I know, but it's hard to look at anything.
But that's a casual fucking view, though, because it's like, it's shit, I'd rather see two idiots in a fucking better fight.
Yeah, I know, but
it's about getting the fucking actual high-level fights. They don't always the most pleasing on the eye, but it's the proper fucking...
No, I'm not saying that, but you'll look more favourably back on the year if Kovalev Ward is excellent, Lomachenko Walters is excellent, than if they're both shit, boring 12-round decisions.
That's what I mean. So you just base it on the fights are there. But those alone are not going to save this year. You can't save.
What have we got? We've got about 15 weight divisions in boxing, and I'd say there's lightweight where Crawler fought Linares. There's featherweight or super featherweight, where Lomachenko fights Walters. Featherweight where Frampton fought Santa Cruz. I'm struggling. Light heavyweight, Kovalev Ward. So that leaves like 10 plus divisions where there's been no real massive fights this year. Like even top 5 guys fighting each other, let alone top 3 or 2.
Yeah.
There's the chocolates.
Just to put it out there, because I feel very strongly that you have to give. If a promoter tries to make a promoter who makes Kovalev Ward gets credit no matter if the fight is good or bad, I think, because they're doing the right thing. If you make Ward against some bum and it turns out to be amazing, I don't think you should get any credit at all because you weren't intending to put on a really good fight. Whereas Ward versus Kovalev is the fight we all want, even if it's an absolute stinker. I won't blame the promoter. It's not.
No, of course. I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying.
I wouldn't take points away from them for that. So, Carpi, sorry, just to break down until the end of the year, we've got Ward versus Kovalev in like 2.5 weeks or whatever. Got Patterson versus Williams and Lomachenko Walters the week after that. We've got Yafai versus Conception. We've got the Joshua fight. We've got Lebedev Gassiev. We've got what's his name? Mares Cuellar, Williams Charlo. We've got Sullivan Barrera versus Shabrinsky, which that's a sleeper. I think that could be a really good fight. Light heavy. That's a really...
Parker Ruiz is quite a good fight as well.
Is that might not happen this year though?
Yeah, right.
Well, let's.
And then we've got Hopkins versus Smith Jr. So that's about 10 good fights in the last 8 weeks.
You've missed one off, Shep.
I don't think he did, but go and say it.
No, I said Williams.
No, you missed out Tom Stalker against Craig Evans. The trilogy's been completed.
Fuck's sake.
In fairness, the two fights were actually quite good. But obviously, it's a different level, isn't it?
We've also got Herrera versus Cano, which isn't a high level, but I actually think that might be a really fun fight because they're both completely shot and they both get hit a lot now. But I think that one. We've also got Groves versus Gutnecht. That'll be a classic. And Malik Scott versus Luis Ortiz, another complete 50-50 classic in the pipeline.
You know what though? The Murray Chudinov fight could end up being decent by accident.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I think it'll be more fun than the Abraham fight would have been.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So anyway, right. So sorry, just to stick to the point. That's the end of 2016. Is that on paper good enough to make up for the fact that the last 3 months have been so bad?
You've missed out fight of the year, Shep. I've just seen it here now. It's staring me in the face.
Yep.
Fake Chavez against Dominic Britch.
Oh, the fuck's sake. The one that Paul Smith turned down. We'll get on to him. We'll get on to him later.
Fight of the year, that.
Is that good enough to restore people's faith in boxing? That 8 week stretch?
Well, no, not when you compare it to his main competitor, I suppose, in the UFC, where they've had a great fight between McGregor Diaz, and they had the rematch. Then McGregor's moving up a weight.
Nice,
moving down a weight, moving up from his weight. He also belt into be the casual. He wins the first time two weight champion in the UFC. They get all manner of good fights on that UFC 205 card. It's like champion versus number one, champion versus number one, 2 versus 3, and then you just look at boxing and think, what's the fucking point? So no, it's not enough to save it. And until they all start working together and making fights we do want to see, like Showtime have, I suppose, if they all come through, I don't think. There's still a part of me that thinks Garcia Thurman will fall through. He'll find a way to duck that and fight Rod Salka again. But I suppose it's heading in the right direction with that announcement.
I don't think Garcia can though, because the money's drying up, and I think he's
been pressured into it 100%.
I'll believe it when he's in the ring.
Yeah, well, he might not do it, but he's not going to get any more gimmies now. I think a lot of the Heyman guys who have been doing that.
Can I just say as well that Angle Garcia video of punching someone in that barbershop is the fakest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Right? If you watch the video again, and there's a guy who ends up pointing at the guy who gets punched. Yeah. He's pointing at him before a punch is even thrown.
To me, actually, that video has made this year the worst year of boxing on record through that one little video.
Boys, you know, on a slightly more serious issue, it has been the worst year I can remember in boxing for serious injuries. Because we've had, I don't know if maybe they've just happened in Britain where before they've been spread across the world and we don't notice them as much, but there's been a lot of brain injuries this year. Yeah, but there was Pritchard Colon at the end of last year as well. Yeah, last October he's still in the coma. It does seem to, I don't know if it's just because, like you said, there's more notice of it, but it seems to have been like a bit of an increase with him of late. As well as, like, it's maybe not just like that, but then the Tommy Martin sort of stuff, there's been quite a few people who've had to quit because they've had fucking brain bleeds or shit like that, or dodgy brain scans. So.
Well, I suppose that's always happened, but now they test for it properly, don't they? It gets found out. And
yeah, that Tommy Martin thing, that was weird. Yeah, I guess I listened to that about a week ago, and it was a funny story. I didn't have a clue any of that was going on.
Well, even like back 10 years ago, Jamie Moore had like a dodgy brain scan. They found a shadow, and he was allowed to fight on. But now, it wasn't a shadow. If you've got a shadow on your brain, what was it then? An irregularity compared to the last one? No, your brain scan can change, which isn't necessarily like you've got a problem, but they have like the board have a legal requirement to tell you that your brain scan has changed, which can mean absolutely nothing, or it can mean something. There's no real evidence either way. To give like a definitive, it's not like a blanket answer when it comes to brain scans.
But just looking at this year, obviously Blackwell, which was like the biggest thing, and then obviously Mike Towell, that situation was even worse. But I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. There's been one or two others this year in boxing as well, and I think you'd like to think, especially with the Tommy Martin one, that there is just the board having their procedures, so they actually, they actually catch the brain bleeds. But listening to the Tommy Martin story, it sounds like the board actually found out quite late how serious his brain injury was.
It sounds like that they only found out because someone had said he tried to keep it quiet, and then they'd asked to see his scans or to see his medical records, and then that's when it all sort of fell in. But
overall, I really don't think it's been a great year for boxing. And although there are some great fights to end the year, there's still plenty of fights that could have happened at the end of this year that haven't, like Golovkin-Jacobs, for example. Salido's fight obviously fell apart with his injury, so there's plenty that's not happened in the last bit of the year as well.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, obviously we had Salido Miura, which is an absolute sucker of a fight, but that's fallen through. Hopefully they can make that next year instead. Just quickly, Ainsley, I've been looking back through Carpi 2014, and honestly, 2014 was next level shit. I'm on all the best fights, right? The only 5-star fight for that year was, do you remember that Takayama against Rodriguez? That tiny, it was like 2 flyweights, and they just threw like 1,500 punches each. That's basically the only 5-star fight for the year, and it wasn't that important. Highest ranked fight for 2014 was Travis Dickinson versus Matty Clarkson. Genuinely, that's in the top 5 fights for the entire year. The third best fight of the year was that Salido against Kokietjin. Do you remember that Thai lad? That wasn't. I mean, it was good. It wasn't that good. Then you've got Matisse against John Molina. That was one of the fights of the year. It wasn't even that good. Martinez. Honestly, these aren't classic fights. Coyle against Brizuela, good fight, but that was a good fight. But if that's the best fight of the year, then
you want the best fights to be at a high level, don't you? Not insignificant like Coyle or Brizuela.
You want it to be at a decent level. It doesn't always have to be a high level, just a respectable level. Like Coyle Brizuela is not even that, but
it's like domestic, isn't it? I mean, yeah, fair enough. Matisse against John Molina, that was a decent level. Honestly, I'm sticking with that. I'm saying 2014 is the worst. Honestly, I don't know what people are saying in the chat. I'll try and have a look. Go on, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Clayton just sent me a question, which is sort of on this, but he's been put it around the UK alone. So he says, "Is it the worst year we've had in recent memory for UK main events and where they've turned out?" And he don't mean like the ones where it's turned out to be good. So he thinks he's only been 3. So it's like Frampton Quigg, Bellew, Macaboo, and Coloronales. Other than that, all the main events have been shit, really, haven't they?
Frampton Quigg wasn't very good when you think about it.
Yeah, but it's a good main event.
Oh no, I thought you meant like a good fight as a main event. No,
it's in terms of that. So we're going to get through a 12-month period where we've had 3 decent main events. And
Liam Williams, Gary Kokora was a good fight. Or a good main event. Both of them
it's decent.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't.
But that's a main event, isn't it? And we don't get enough of that in this country as it is. People at that level fighting each other when they could both fight.
I don't want to piss on that, but I mean,
that's the reason why we don't get good main events, because it's usually be Callum Smith against fucking some Latvian road sweeper, innit? In a headline in some scout shit card, or you know what I mean?
Isn't it? That's what I was saying earlier. So it's just like, oh well, we've got Callum Smith fighting this fucking dustbin man, but his next fight's going to be a big one, and then when the next one don't come along, we'll put him on an undercard, and the main event's like Joshua against fucking Sideshow Bob, and then he's doing pads for fucking 9 rounds out the back. Like, what pay-per-views have there been this year? So Frampton Quigg, shit. Joshua Martin, shit. Joshua Brazil, shit. Joshua Molina's going to be shit. What else have we had?
Brooke
Golovkin. That wasn't a bad card, but it's still farcical as a main event. So that's shit. There's been another one.
Has there? Well, Frampton Quigg, you said that. I think that's it in the UK.
But if you think like of those, there's one decent main event, and I'll say decent because Quigg didn't really prove that he was at that level, and he's got to do something now to show it was. But I mean, it's pretty fucking pathetic. And then you've got stuff in America on pay-per-view, like fucking Pacquiao Vargas shouldn't be pay-per-view.
No, well, I mean,
it's
on a private pay-per-view, isn't it?
You've still got to pay to watch it though.
Yes, that's true. I don't know how much it is. I think it's cheaper, isn't it, Pacquiao Vargas?
It might be.
Do you know what? I was actually I was watching a little press conference video the other day. Vargas is a lot bigger than Pacquiao. Like he must be 4 or 5 inches taller. Like way, almost a head taller. You know, if you look at the videos of them face to face, he's going to be towering over Pacquiao in the ring. I'm not saying he wins. I don't think he does. I'm just saying I think that the size difference could actually sort of play into this. It might be a bit closer than people think. So I was shocked how much, because Bradley, didn't look that different to Pacquiao when they stood opposite each other, but Vargas is way taller.
I'm really convinced by Vargas's attitude as well that he's going to go in there and go balls to the wall.
Oh, you think he'll go for it? Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's going to try and go the distance and protect his belt or anything like that. I think he knows he's quite lucky to be getting the shot. I think Vargas. And I think with Vargas, the issue it's not that he won't try. It's just that he's not as skilled on that top level. So it may be that he tries his heart out all night, but doesn't. He just can't get anything done. But anyway, we'll get onto that a little bit later. I'm sticking with my guns that 2014 is the worst we've had in recent years. 2013 was amazing. 2014 was absolutely awful.
No, sorry, ignore me. I almost had a casual moment. Maidana beat Broner in 2013, didn't he? Right at the end.
Yeah. That was the cherry on the cake. That was the cherry on the cake. Al Bernstein said 2013 was the best year in boxing for 25 years. He's probably right. It was unbelievable. 2013. There were just it started. Do you remember? It started off in January with Provodnikov versus Bradley, and then it ended with Bruno Maidana. It was absolutely phenomenal. It's such a good year.
What year did Pacquiao get iced by Marquez? Was that 2013?
Right at the end of 2020. Right at the end of 2012.
Yeah.
And that's what started the ball rolling, because you had the last few months of 2012 were really good, and then 2013 just went. And Golovkin had his breakthrough performances in 2013, and he beat Macklin, he beat Stevens, and he suddenly came on the scene. And you had Canelo fighting Mayweather, and you had Canelo against Trout, and you had fight in 2013. Was it Pulev maybe? Anyway, I can't. He beat someone sort of reasonably significant in 2013. And every division had, and then you had obviously Stevenson icing past Dawson, and then you had Kovalev breaking through, and it was a phenomenal year all round. Every division was action packed. Garcia, Matisse, Peterson. It was just every division had fantastic fights. And I guess the bar was set very, very high. Maybe we all got a bit. What's the word? Sort of deluded in terms of how good we expected it to be going forward. But it's. I think 2016's been slow. It's sort of leveled out, I suppose, but it's definitely better than it was a couple of years ago. It's hard to shit on 2015 when we did get Mayweather Pacquiao finally.
That's the thing, but I don't think you can just. The fight might not be good to watch, but it's like if they've made the fight, that's it. That's all you can expect. Because they could make every big fight that we want, and it could all be shit. You're not going to say, "Oh, it was a shit year." You're just going to say, "Well, the fights did deliver what we thought." Kovalev Ward has got massive potential to be fucking horrible to watch.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd go along with it.
And Lomachenko Walters could be the same.
No, I think Lomachenko Walters will be really good.
I think Gassiev Lebedev might be the one between now and Christmas that gets pushed for fight of the year. Because them two at some point are going to start fucking wading in on each other big style. So that might be the best one to watch between now and Christmas. in terms of just fucking action. But
I've got a feeling Lomachenko Walters is going to be a really good fight.
I don't know if it depends. Cause
I think it'll start off with Walters getting schooled, but I think he might come into it at a certain point.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think he'll sort of grow into the fight. I actually think Vargas might have a bit more success late on because he's a pretty good distance fighter. Vargas, he fights at like the same pace over all the round. And what was the other one? I think Kovalev Ward is going to be one of those fights that really divides opinion. And it will. I think it's going to be every round is going to be very, very close, and you're going to see a huge range of scorecards. It's going to be really bitterly disputed for a while. You know, you're going to have like some people are going to swear that Kovalev dominated and won, and then you're going to have Luki boxing wanking over Ward, saying that he won every single round and all the rest of it. I think it's going to be a really sort of maybe not controversial, but disputed, if that makes sense. But right. By the way, guys, just to let you know, we've got Daryl Jelly, one of our faithful listeners, has he said he went to a pub quiz recently and he got 5 boxing questions, and he said he's going to send them in to us, and to make sure no one's cheating, we have to sort of do them as they come in. Like I'll read them out immediately, and then we'll all go together.
Cool.
He's currently he's typing the first one now. And as soon as he's finished it, I need to read it out. So if I interrupt you, please don't take it personally. Just because otherwise he's going to think that I'm cheating and I'm like researching the answer behind your back or whatever.
You always fucking interrupt us anyway, so it makes no difference. Yeah. We're used to it now.
Fuck off, Thorny! Also, Smido, if you're listening, we've got how many listeners? 72 viewers, mate.
Oh, Shep, about Kovalev Ward. We said that.
Fucking mutant cunt.
About Kovalev Ward, we said this at the time, like it'll be a close one, and why don't they do it 2-3 times if it is close? Because there's no fucker else for each other to fight.
Yeah, exactly. Hopefully, I hope it's a close, controversial fight, and they do it again. Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to see, the worst result is if Ward dominates him, and then doesn't fight again for like 2 years, and Kovalev is stuck not being able to get revenge and just looking like a bit of an idiot.
If Ward beats Kovalev like pretty handily, he's going to be wanting like 100 million for his next fight against fucking Callum Smith.
Yeah, exactly.
I think he just jack it in.
He'll ask for $20 million to fight an absolute nobody. Right, guys, we've had the first question, and I'm sorry to say I know the answer immediately. I won't say it, but who is the only boxer to win a round of boxing without throwing a punch?
Willie Pep.
Willie Pep.
Yeah, Willie Pep. There you go. We all got that. Easy, mate. Willie. Apocryphal, obviously, it's nonsense, and he didn't actually win it without throwing a punch.
Well, Frankie Gavin pretty much did similar the other week, didn't he?
Frankie Gavin won scorecards on Press Passes card against Kell Brook without throwing a single fucking punch. Yeah. Right, guys. Question number 2. In 1949, an animal fought a human in a licensed boxing match. What was the animal and who won? I think I know the animal. I'm not sure who won.
Is it I was thinking that, but then I don't think it is. I don't think it is, but I don't want to say what I think it is because if it's wrong,
this is like QI, isn't it? This is like fucking general ignorance.
I'm pretty sure it was a kangaroo. But
I was going to say kangaroo, but I thought it was going to be stupid.
I'm pretty sure it was a kangaroo. I'll text him back now. I don't know who won though. I'm assuming the human would have won, but that's. I don't know. Maybe a kangaroo's really quick.
But is that more recent though?
Carpy said a bear. Mental. A bear would literally tear your arms off.
I think Carpy's thinking of Semi-Pro, that film with Will Ferrell in where he wrestles.
Carpy, are you thinking of a hairy homosexual man?
No, I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a kangaroo. I've sent it back to him. We'll see what the answer is.
I was thinking that, but it just sounds too stupid.
Who do we think won? Hasn't it? Like, kangaroo got a points win or something stupid.
Did Charles promote the fight? You might have fixed it.
No, Charles put 400 grand on the kangaroo to ice him.
No, Seb put it on in play. Got 4-1 when he had female company round.
Yeah,
just a chick,
a chick round.
Oh dear! I can't wait for him to come back on the Asylum for the Ward episode. Anyway, yeah, I had to say, look, I had to hold my hands up and apologise to Seb. Unless it's a very good Photoshop, which I don't think it is, he did genuinely get 4-1 in play on Eggington, which is extraordinary considering he started out at 3.5-1.
Yeah, it did
but
seem
you know, fair play to him. He kept an eye on the odds and he took advantage. So enjoy the 800 quid or whatever it was you won. Spend it on plastic surgery so you can look black.
Spend it on Dappy albums. That's what I do.
Question 3. Oh, here we go. Dillian White is nicknamed the Body Snatcher. Which world champ had the nickname before him? Yeah, well done.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
That's quite easy, all 3 of those, to be honest. I think there's 2 more.
Fucking a bear. I can't understand why you thought a bear would fight a man.
Are you thinking of
used to fight all sorts of weird shit, didn't they?
They use what? What?
Oh, man.
Why is fighting a kangaroo more fucking weird than fighting a bear?
Kangaroo can't literally rip your head off. And kangaroos are probably it's probably the same as a heavyweight. I reckon Vlad weighs probably about the same as a kangaroo.
I reckon I could beat a bear. Not a problem at all.
Don't.
A little one.
A little. I bet you couldn't.
Yeah. And then what's the trainer, aka its mum, is going to leap into the ring, going to Juanma you.
Well, then I'd be in bother, wouldn't I? But
yeah, I think Daryl's quite a slow typer, bless him. But I think we've got it right. Okay, question 4. Oh, I don't know this. Why did Sugar Ray Robinson want to avoid fighting Jimmy Doyle? Christ, no idea.
Because he was white?
Yeah, well, maybe, but when that would have been in what, the 50s or the 60s? I don't know. Because he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan. I bet that's it. I bet that's what it is. Because he was. I'm sending this back. I bet that's.
I'm just saying random shit here. I'm just hoping that it fits.
No, but I bet it was race related. I think you're right. Because he was a member of the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh wait, is he the guy who he fought when he had that dream?
What dream?
Because he dreamed that he killed a guy, didn't he? And then he said he didn't want to fight, and then he actually fought, and then he killed him. Is that
really?
the guy? Yeah.
You think of Gladiator, the film?
Honestly, I'm positive that that's...
I've heard that before, Ainsley, as well. But I don't
the Emperor killed his wife and his dad and his mum, so he got revenge.
I'm positive that's it.
Okay, well, let's see. I've said my guess was that.
I'm sure that's some. But to be fair, actually, I'm just thinking of who told me that, and I'm now doubting it. No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
Pause, tweet it.
No, I think it might be my granddad at one point, and I'm just thinking it.
No, I think I have heard that before somewhere.
Right. Anyway, I think we're doing all right so far. I think we've got 3 out of 4. I'm waiting on the answers to those last 2, but I'll keep you posted. Press Pass is arguing with me about why he needs to publicly join the next big pod. Oh dear, this is all
just
playing.
Ignore him.
Yeah, no, I think Dewey was right about him, to be perfectly honest. Right. So there's yeah, you know you fucked up when Dewey is slagging you off because he's the most mild-mannered person in the whole chat and on any podcast, I'd argue. Anyway, so we've got a few questions coming in, apart from the ones from Daryl, which I will sort of dip in and out of, unless you guys have got any particular news stories you wanna discuss.
Not much happening, is there?
No, there really isn't. I mean, we had the big announcements a few days ago, didn't we? At the end of last week, we've got, I suppose, fights that have been announced. Crawford against Molina, that's been announced in the last few days. Not great, but you know,
it's just shit.
Oh yeah, that Kovalev Ward My Fight thing's on HBO's Boxing YouTube, and if you haven't seen it, I would give it a watch. It's quite good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I watched half of it before we came on tonight. It's good.
It's quite interesting. Like, if you don't know a lot about Ward's backstory, it's quite interesting that way. You find out about his mum and dad being like crack and heroin addicts and that.
He doesn't come across like a twat, does he? Really?
No, I didn't want to warm to him, but I kind of did a little bit.
Yeah,
he's still a twat.
Yeah, he still is, but
he still is a little bit.
You kind of see why he's got some of his sort of weird ways about him.
Yeah. He's a bit of a dick, Ainsley, but you kind of sympathise a little bit. Question 5, last one from Daryl. Question 3 about the kangaroo was correct, by the way. We got that one right.
Yes, Copy got it wrong.
McCallum was correct as well. Question 5, which 2 countries in Europe still ban professional boxing?
I always think Hungary because there's that Olympian guy. I don't know if it was banned or he wasn't allowed to leave the country.
Wasn't it banned in Sweden until not long ago?
Not Sweden. It was
banned
in Norway, wasn't it?
No, Sweden. Sweden was. You bring that up, I think, because they hosted their first fight for something like 50 years. I think last year it was like a Eric Skoglund fight or something. It was literally the first time in like over 50 years that there'd been a professional fight in Sweden. I don't know if that's because it was banned or if it was just because there was no market there. Oh my God, Carpi!
What?
It was a bear. It was a bear. That's amazing.
What?
Apparently, it was a bear.
Oh, I am good.
I'm googling this. You're winning the quiz, mate. Bear boxing match. Apparently, the bear won, unsurprisingly. I'm sure I've seen a kangaroo.
All right, with the boxing one, I'm just going to say Norway, and I'm going to say Hungary, just because there was that Laszlo Papp, and he weren't allowed to fucking box anywhere because it was banned. But that was.
I don't know. To be honest,
I reckon Hungary is probably wrong now. I reckon Norway is probably wrong now as well. But what about like little AIDS countries where there's like 6 people live there?
San Marino,
I
Andorra.
cannot believe.
Are they actually countries or principalities though?
San Marino's a country.
I don't think Andorra's a country.
Yeah, it is.
You sure? I'm sure it's a principality.
It's in between Spain and France, isn't it?
The Principality of Andorra, but is that a country or not? It's got like 8 people.
Andorra's not. Andorra's a principality, I think.
Yeah, it is. The Principality of Andorra. There we go.
Sweden had banned boxing until 2007, I think. So it was banned in Sweden. I don't think it is anymore.
But I'm staying with Norway and Hungary. That's going to be my two.
Norway, mate. That's right. That's one of them. I don't know what the other one is. I found one about Norway.
Norway and Hungary.
Okay. Oh, mate, Ainsley, we've got it. We've got a clean sweep here. For question 4 about what's his name, Ray Robinson.
Yeah.
The answer was, before the fight, Robinson had a dream that he was going to kill Doyle in the ring. And he decided to, no, you were right, decided to pull out of the fight. However, a priest and a minister convinced him to go ahead, and then Robinson went ahead with it and killed him. So,
nice.
Thanks very much.
Easy
Great
work.
advice there from the priest.
Way.
I'd never heard that story before. Sounds like absolute bollocks, but I guess.
Yeah, but I can remember getting told that, and there was something. There's another story that got told on with it. I can't remember what it was now.
Are we going to ask these same 5 questions to Adam Smith?
Sky Adam Smith or Mutant Adam Smith?
Mutant Adam Smith.
Right, Smith's pissed me off with that little tweet, so I'm going to go both barrels on him. Right, professional boxing is banned in... It just
Norway and
I can only find websites saying Norway plus Eastern Europe. Norway, no, it can't be banned in Hungary because you've got the Hungarian government, mate.
Yeah, but do they fight in Hungary or do they fight in like Latvia or wherever?
Yeah, maybe.
Right, but I know it was. I don't know the full thing, so I'm sort of speculating like fuck here.
Okay, apparently I found an Economist article on this. Sweden had it banned until 2007. Norway had it banned until 2015.
Oh.
And Cuba obviously had it banned until recently as well. And those are the only 3. I think North Korea might have banned it.
He said Europe though, didn't he? So
yeah, he did. I can't find another European country. I'm just going to say.
Surely I'm missing.
But he said which countries still ban it, and Norway has unbanned it now. So I think the question is out of date. Anyway, let's see. We're doing pretty well. The next big pub quiz team.
Yeah.
Schooling the Asylum in the Prediction League and schooling the entire world in the pub quizzes. Right, so we've had a few other questions as well. I'll throw these out to Carby. Do you want to do the first one?
Go ahead.
First one is, seeing as it's Halloween, what would give you a bigger scare?
I've seen this question.
Joe Gallagher at home with me dog.
Gallagher left alone with your dog all night, or Joshua coming round to collect. You know those bailiffs that you owe like 140 quid to?
Yeah.
If Joshua showed up as the bailiff to get the money, what would scare you more?
Gallagher with me dog.
Do you have a dog?
No, but if I did, I would be more scared of that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think Joshua would probably be, because he's so humble, isn't he? He'd probably just pay the bailiff's fine himself.
Yeah.
He'd just come. Yeah, listen. Yeah, I'd go for Gallagher.
Here's a question for you. Obviously, this is based off the news that Matchroom have signed Katie Taylor, the Irish/British, if you're reading the ESPN boxer. Was Matchroom signing Katie Taylor their idea or Sky's, in your opinion?
Sky's.
Because it seems like quite a sort of publicity stunt, and I don't want to disrespect her by saying that. I just mean it's a very marketable story, isn't it?
It's Sky, definitely. I've no doubt on that one. Hearn sort of mentioned about signing, what's the name, Nicola Adams, didn't he? But I don't think, to be honest, he was that interested. I think it was more of a soundbite. What's Hearn going to do with it? He won't know shit about women's boxing, will he?
Just so you know, it's apparently Iceland was the other country that had banned it. Apparently, I couldn't find any record of that, but I assume that's not a lie. Right. So it's weirdly enough the Scandinavian countries that don't seem to be too keen on it. Okay. So we're saying Katie Taylor is a kind of PR stunt from Sky. I do think in a without sounding horrible that is true.
I think she's shot anyway.
Yeah, how old is she? Is she over?
I don't think she's necessarily that old, but I think
she's in her 30s. No.
I think if you look at the two Olympics performances, there's a concerted difference from one to the other, and form.
She's 30.
And form of recent years would suggest the same, but she's 30. Yeah. I don't know what I like. I don't want to say this in like to make it sound sort of ignorant, but I don't know if there's like a different sort of like shelf life for women in sports. Have they got like a smaller window where they can like stay at the prime? Or
they fight. Female boxers tend to fight less often and have less fights, don't they? So I guess in that sense, you think they might have longer careers, but I don't really know how it works. I'm just not interested in women's boxing at all. I've got, I don't want to see it like banned or anything like that. It just doesn't interest me. I don't enjoy watching it. So,
but if they're gonna be like decent fights, I'll watch it. But like, I don't know enough to start.
I don't enjoy it. I don't think it's. It doesn't. It's not the same sport to me. It's like women's football. I just personally don't enjoy watching it.
No, but if women's boxing was the same quality as men and not a watered down version, you would watch it.
Yeah, but yeah, I suppose it's a bit like watching. Yeah, it's like watching a slower, less exciting version of the same thing, and you just think, well, what's the point? And again, that's not me saying like, oh, they're not ladylike, that we should ban this sport. It's just, personally, as a consumer, I'm going to choose to watch men. I'd rather watch men with their shirts off than women. It's like what it comes down to. Right, we've had another question. We had one question. I tweeted earlier about Conlon and Paddy Barnes and how their pro careers are going to pan out, because I'm already seeing warning signs with Barnes that he's still got TBA for his debut at the weekend. I feel like that he's just going to get sort of muddled along and could end up in a sort of maybe not as extreme as this, but he could end up in a kind of Tom Stalker like scenario Whereas Conlan, they have a path for him, and they are going to push him to a world title very, very quickly, I think. And he will sink or swim. If he hasn't got the talent, obviously he'll get found out. But I think Conlan is challenging himself far more than Barnes is. And I've said I think Barnes, who obviously is a friend of the show that we like very much, has taken the kind of easier option. One of the questions was, do we think Top Rank and the rest of them were interested in Barnes?
No.
What do you guys think?
No.
If they wanted him, they'd have got him.
Because he's much older and he's not 3 Olympics and he's got 2 bronze.
Yeah, I think, isn't Conlan's like 26 or something?
23, he's really young.
23, bloody hell.
I might be wrong, he might be 24, but he's definitely young.
Yeah.
But Do was saying that Paddy were on TalkSport today saying he's training himself at the minute.
No, he is. He was on Gareth A. Davies' podcast.
That is not going to end well.
No, it's not. It's only because that he wants to base himself in England, but his wife's been. He said if it was anywhere else other than Dublin, he would have pulled out the fight anyway. But or dealt with Dublin or Belfast. I can't remember where it is at, but one of the two.
Dublin, I think.
And he's only training himself. He's ticking over. He's got his old amateur coaches helping him out of that, but he hasn't bothered going to any pro coach because he wants to set it up properly. He wants his wife's back from having a kid. So there is reason behind it. It's not because he thinks he's the best at training himself.
No, but I still don't like it, even for your debut, because it's.
Yeah, I know, but then the cabbage he's going to be fighting ain't going to be on a level compared to him, really, is it?
Well,
he should be able to beat him, no bother.
But still, but Barnes is a guy who was so accomplished as an amateur. You don't want him to start off with cabbage.
No, that's what I was going to say.
18-year-old novice, like.
No, but everyone's gets a knockover on a debut, don't they? Unless...
Yeah, no, you're right, but equally, like, what's the joke? Obviously, isn't it? The joke we always use is that Campbell could have beat Tommy Coyle on his debut, which he definitely could have done. But you like to think, especially at Barnes's weight class, where people tend to get title shots a bit earlier than at the higher classes.
There is no domestic scene, is there?
No, there's
very, very thin.
Barnes should be European level after 6 or 7 fights.
Well, Paddy said to us, and I'll hold him to his word because he seems like a nice guy, that he wants to be fighting for world titles and that after 10 fights, if he's good enough.
Yeah, and I think that's completely realistic.
But like everyone is entitled to a knockover on a debut. You don't want to see anyone chucked in too deep and lose our debut because 1, that's embarrassing, and 2, it helps no one. It doesn't help them build a profile, and they just get a cheap loss against someone they're not prepared to fight in the pro.
Maybe he'll go for Zhu Shimin after a few fights.
Yeah, but they had Bob Arum on as well, and Bob said they were looking to do that fight.
Could happen.
I said to you earlier on in the WhatsApp chat, I think if Paddy Barnes is any good, Top Rank will nick him and they'll pair him up together.
Yeah, but they might use him because they're both MGM, so they can just.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they'll just nick him, put him on cards because if they're going to do it in New York on St. Patrick's Day, for example, Paddy Barnes is on that one.
Yeah,
they'll just get as many Irish people as they can and chuck them on. And obviously they can play on the fact that Paddy and Mick are really good mates, which they are. Chuck them on like talk shows, radio shows together. They're quite funny when you see them on the same being interviewed together, aren't they? I just think as a double act, they'll work well.
Yeah, and they're both quite they're good talkers. They're quite outspoken, sort of
both friends of the pod,
characters. Yeah, they're both pals of the pod.
We do have a bit of a curse going on at the minute, so hopefully they can break it.
No, we don't.
We do. They both came on and they both left empty fucking handed from the Olympics.
Yeah, but also we spoke to Bellew and then he won a world title.
But he's a prick, and so curses don't really affect him.
Is that the opposite? We wanted him to fail, so he succeeded.
Yeah, we reverse cursed him. We wanted him to fail, and he ended up succeeding. But he knocked out David A. and Femi now as well.
Who's a guy that we really want to fail? Paul Smith. So Paul Smith's going to win the world title, is what you're saying. Jesus Christ, if that happens, that would make the only way 2017 could be worse.
But yeah, I think you're being a bit harsh on Paddy Barnes until we actually see like 4 or 5 fights into his career, how it's going. Then we can assess it. I don't know if Macklin's going to take any interest in the pair of them.
Well, Macklin seems to be very hands-on with Conlan, which I think is a good thing because Macklin knows fucking all the.
He knows the US side of it a bit as well, doesn't he?
He knows everything, so I think that's a good.
I really like what I'm seeing so far from Conlan in terms of the way, and I know obviously he hasn't had a fight yet. It's very, very early days, but I really like the way the sort of
he's gone about it.
They started off on the right foot, and I have very, very high hopes, and I have a lot of sort of confidence that he's going to do big things as a pro. And I'm just really, really pleased that he signed with Top Rank because I think they are streets ahead of any other promoter in terms of developing young fighters and bringing them on. And I think Conlon is what division is he as a pro? Is he featherweight?
Bantamweight, isn't he?
Bantamweight, right? Shitload of I know we've said this before a few months ago, but he'll be training out in North America, California, the best place in the world for that sort of weight class. Just the amount of sparring partners you'll get over there who will be better than some of the champions in Europe. Do you know what I mean? Or the British level, English level fighters who would be sparring partners out in California. He will be learning every single day, and I think it's a perfect place for him. So very, very pleased.
Here's one, because Hearns put... I know it's a weight above, but if Conlon were to fight Big Twinny Gav after say 3 or 4 fights, who would you think? Who would you back?
You don't know yet, do you? You don't know how Conlon's going to adapt to the pros. You obviously favour him, wouldn't you, based on his amateur career and his pedigree?
I think you could take enough of it though from like the.
But we know that we've seen before that it doesn't really equate over to the pros, because there has been exceptional amateurs, like although Frankie Gavin's a mess, that really good amateur can.
Frankie Gavin's a lazy fucking prick though.
Yeah, I know, but I don't like to judge any potential pros based off what they've done in the amateur.
The WSB thing. I think the WSB thing though is easy to make a marker on, because they're essentially pro fights now.
It's still only 5 rounds, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, this is the thing. If you
I know what you're saying with the lack of head guards, and that it is a bit easier now, but it still is different.
Yeah. But if you've been doing the WSB fights, yeah, and you like high level, so like Barnes and whatever, they shouldn't be fighting genuine. They should be fighting. So like Barnes, ideally, would be fighting someone at like English level in his debut. But maybe over 8 rounds instead of fucking like a 10 round or whatever. But that should be the fucking level he'd start at. He's obviously not going to, but that's the way it should work. For me, anyway. I think Conlon's doing a 6 rounder. Did he say? Or maybe.
Oh, good. That's good.
Wait up, it might even be an 8 rounder.
Again, ambition. He's trying to go above and beyond what's required. It's really, really good to see, and I hope more guys will. If you've got the talent, then you should be looking to do things differently, I think, and to be doing, it's not enough to do what all the other pros do and just sort of blend in with the crowd. A guy like Conlon should be looking to go to the next level. Guys, I've just thought of a question while you were discussing it there. We obviously know that Andrade, the Kulkai fight, has now fallen through. Does Demetrius Andrade have the worst? Is he getting the worst advice of any fighter in the sport at the moment?
Yeah.
How his career's gone for the last couple of years.
Yeah. He shouldn't have took that fight anyway. But
can we think of anyone who's got worse advice from their management or whatever?
Selby took that decision himself to some degree. He's not just
No. You can't then say he's getting bad advice if Selby made the decision himself.
Yeah, but the thing is, Andre tried to fuck off to Rock Nation, and then to be fair, Rock Nation are bums.
Both cases, the team makes the decision.
Selby,
if Selby said I want to go to Heyman and everyone in his team said don't do it, then he wouldn't do it at all. It's not how it works. You've got to blame the Sanagars a bit. I know we like the Sanagars and they're friends of the show, over and out. But you've got to blame.
But Selby's different, because I don't think Selby's anywhere near as good as he makes out. But I think that Andre is. Like Selby's
how was that different? How was their ability different?
Because Selby has fucking probably got 2 decent fucking, or maybe 1 decent payday for Montiel, which is probably above his station, and he'll probably get the Frampton fight. So he'll get that out of it. So that's not a bad one. And he'll be getting paid more than his work, because he's really not that good. And he's fucking a boring little cunt.
Might be getting the Santa Cruz fight. Santa Cruz said today that if he beats Frampton, he wants Selby next in.
The winner's going to fight him, aren't they? But
yeah, a lot easier than fighting.
What's Andrade doing? Andrade got his belt took off him because Smith refused to fight him. Then Smith got to fight for the belt. It's like Andrade's much worse on his side. Just
to give everyone a quick summary, Andrade is obviously, we bang on about him all the time. Phenomenally talented, easily a top 10 pound for pound guy if he was active and actually getting the fights. He won his belt about almost 3 years ago. Basically won 11 out of the 12 rounds against Vargas, and Vargas is a good, solid sort of fringe contender, and he dominated him. He's easily Can you put the tin foil away, for fuck's sake? What is that noise?
Carpy's chasing the dragon, like.
Get Carpy, for fuck's sake. Got his fucking fish fingers out again. Right, so Andrade obviously won the belt almost 3 years ago, and then he since did he ever he defended it once against Brian Rose, didn't he, in a mandatory?
Yeah.
And then he got it stripped off him, didn't fight for almost 2 years, and has now come back, fought Willie Nelson, and then has essentially not signed the contract in time for Sauerland and Kulkai. Again, I think that would have been... I actually disagree with you, Ainsley. I think that would have been a really good fight. Go away, fight in Germany, knock the guy out, and make a sort of statement on the road. I actually think that would have been a perfect fight for him. I think it would have made him mandatory for the WBA title, which is held by... who holds the WBA? Is it De Carolis or whatever? I can't remember who's got it at middleweight.
Sure.
Sorry, at 154. What am I talking about? Who's got the WBA at 154?
It's Laura, isn't it? Laura's got it.
Oh, Lara's got it. Okay, yeah, would have made him mandatory for Lara. I think he beat Lara. I think that's a good fight for him. And you know, the world's his oyster. Once he's got a belt, Andre's the sort of guy. Once he's got a belt, everyone's going to fight him because he won't command that much money. They can probably take the large share. You know, Canelo could take 80% against.
So you mean like last time he had a belt then, and that didn't exactly get a plan for him, did it?
Well, I mean, he got pretty well paid for the Rose fight, you know, and I know that was, you know, a sort of nothing defense, but he probably got almost $500,000 for that fight, which isn't bad. And the problem was he won that fight, and then he started saying things like, "I want 50-50 against Canelo."
He's an idiot.
They just looked at him and thought, yeah, we don't need you, mate. Not if you're going to demand 50-50. I agree with you, Coffee. Sadly, I think he is a fucking idiot. Sadly.
Like, he got pissed off with Canelo because he wanted the Liam Smith fight and Canelo got there first. So he's not showing any ambition with someone with that much talent to moan about not fighting the easiest champion in the division. It's disgusting, really.
But I can see it with Andrade wanting to get the belt back off the cunt who fucking turned him down and then went and robbed
No, but he didn't say that reason. He said because it's the easiest belt to get. Not that he's got my belt, I want it back. He went, it's the easiest belt to get, and I want it.
Whatever, the advice he's had has just been terrible. Though.
I think he's quite cynical about the game, and I think when he says things, I'm going to sort of give him the benefit of the doubt here. I think when he talks about it's the easiest belt, I think he is aware of the fact that Andrade is really the best example, apart from Rigondeaux in the sport, of the high risk, low reward fight, right? Yeah. And if he's got a belt, then it at least makes it worth. The risk is the reward is considerably bigger if he's got a belt. If Andrade doesn't,
come on, man, you know that division's AIDS. It doesn't matter who's got a belt in there. No one's fighting each other.
No,
well, I mean, they are going to start to now. So it looks like
quality. I think that's a really good division. There's the top 7 in that division probably are really evenly matched. I think it's a really good division if they actually fight each other. But no one's fighting Andrade unless he's got a belt, and I think he knows that. Like, you know, can you imagine Canelo fighting Andrade in a voluntary? Do you know what I mean? It's just never going to happen. Could you imagine Canelo fighting Andrade in a unification? Maybe it could happen. Not that I think Canelo's going to stick around there necessarily, but you know, a guy like Charlo would never fight Andrade in a voluntary, but he might fight him in a unification.
Well, one of the Charlos is apparently going to move up at the start of next year, so that'll be the belt that he'll probably go for.
So that'll be the guy who's fighting, what's his name? Williams. And I think he'll lose to Williams and then he'll move up.
Yeah, but you know, if Williams loses that fight, it's going to be quite funny.
I'm going to call it right now. Jamel Charlo will lose to Julian Williams, possibly by knockout, and then he will blame the weight and move up. That is what's going to happen. I will call it right now.
Like,
to be fair, he is huge for the weight, to be fair to him. Although he does seem to be able to make it. No, I don't think he's ever missed weight. He seems to be able to make it, no problem.
I just think that Julian Williams has been...
Sorry, go on, mate.
I just think Julian Williams has been banging on about everyone avoiding him and that he's this, that and the other for ages, and then it'd be quite hilarious if the first time he stepped up he'd lost. But
yeah, he really needs to win. I agree with you.
He'd be fucked. But there we go.
But Williams is another one. He's in the kind of who needs him camp, isn't he? He's perceived as, like you say, he's perceived as high risk, although he doesn't necessarily have the wins yet in his career. and he's also very low reward. You know, he's not really.
I'm no interest.
No, he's got a bit of a name with Showtime now, I'd say, but he's not a star, is he? He's not the sort of guy who's gonna draw in thousands.
It's like where would Hearn maneuver Brock at that division? I don't really get it. I don't see the path.
Just go for Canelo, wouldn't he? And try and tread water until Canelo.
Yeah, but I think Canelo's probably going to move up and fuck that belt off. So,
I've just seen in the chat. Very good point. Julian Williams versus Brian Rose is the fight to make at 154.
Yeah. I watched Rose versus Cousin Jones one again the other day. Hilarious. And in the dressing room, Ian John Lewis, he's lied to us. I'm raging. No, you just shit and got fucking bounced about by Carson Jones in a round.
Someone in the chat just tried to type once, and it auto-corrected to Wanstead, as in Wanstead.
What's it?
That's quite extraordinary autocorrect, because I think it means he was actually trying to spell once with a W, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. That's beyond stupid.
He's got a Sheffield postcode. Are you a Wednesday fan or a United fan, or whoever you are?
Christ.
If you're a Wednesday fan, delete yourself.
Yeah. For once.
In fairness, we'll let this guy off. I've just seen his other comment. What about that goon Brian on the coalition the other day? Then the asylum fucking waste man sellout.
You're getting some love in the comments today, mate.
Real recognise real. I've not seen much hate in the comments for us three today. It's just there was some for press pass. Someone kicked off because I said Katie Taylor's short, and someone you don't know nothing. Well, I don't really care. She's pretty irrelevant. Yeah, that's about it. Wait, apparently it's a Scottish word, you faggot.
He said it's apparently "once" is a Scottish word, and then he misspelled the word faggot.
Andy P's in the chat.
Andy P?
He's the Scottish one.
Oh yeah. Andy P. Wanstead. Oh dear, this is. I'm losing the will to live with the level of.
What the fuck does it? Wanstead. Wanstead is allegedly a place in the London borough of Redbridge.
Yeah, it's a place in London. That's what I mean.
What are you waffling on about here then?
Okay. No, forget it. If people can't see the chat, this will make no sense. So we'll move on.
Yeah.
This one poster tried to spell the word once with a W. So he's an absolute fucking moron. Shout out to all our other listeners as well. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Yeah, Ainsley's getting loads of love. Right, now we've done the questions. There really wasn't that much that came in this week, apart from questions like, why is Press Pass such a twat? And how on earth does Press Pass think he has the right to treat you this way? Things like that. But we've answered that. So, right, guys, unless you want to talk about anything else, should we get on to some previews?
Let's talk about Boy.
Let's just do the Dream Boy update pretty quickly.
Yeah, go on, mate. Yeah.
Juanma's now been elevated, so there's now an additional Super Dream Boy champion. That's Juanma. They also added a stipulation to Juanma is he can't lose a belt for the next 2 years. Because
right.
how
many of last week's rules have you just broken by doing that?
Probably about 6 or 7. But like we said, the rules can change at any moment.
Yeah, the rules are fluid.
Yeah. So Juanma's now a Super Dream Boy champion at what featherweight?
Yeah, 126.
But the Super Dream Boy title, you didn't get this last week. The Super Dream Boy title was like when you win the British outright, you've got it to keep.
Right.
Yes, this is like.
So it's like we're giving Juanma like a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not he can't defend it in the ring now. He's just been awarded that title. He can still carry it to the ring and that, and we won't kick off about it. But he can't lose it in the ring, and he can't defend it. It's just his now. Someone else's now.
Yeah. And while we're on, I've just thought I was going to mention this earlier, and I forgot about it. While we're on about Puerto Ricans, so I think I said it on Twitter the other day, but how has Cotto managed to be the most boring fighter to come out of that island? Like, he's got literally no personality. Like, I mean, Video's fucking boring, man. But at least Video went and fucking wrote himself off in a motorbike, which give him some character. Like, Cotto is just so boring. Is he just repressing his sexuality that much he just doesn't want to say anything?
What was it we said in the chat about Orlando Cruz and in a WhatsApp chat about Orlando Cruz and Cotto the other day?
Oh, I forgot.
Cotto spends more time with his knees than Orlando Cruz.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. But did you see fucking Frank Warren? Apparently, he tweeted something like,
"Yeah, he said he's a gay rights activist now."
Oh yeah, like football needs to learn lessons from boxing about like gay rights. This is coming from a man who put Tyson Fury on his fucking channel. It was just absolutely savaging gays and calling them all sorts, and now he's wanting to fucking pretend he's some champion of gay rights.
He's wearing a rainbow suit on the fight night.
He will do, won't he, as well?
Yeah, he is.
George will be doing not George. Oh fuck me. Francis will be doing some rainbow fucking shit.
Instead of necking on a bird, the old time the card, so Francis is going to be necking on a man just for.
Guys, just quickly before we go on to the Pacquiao preview, what do we think about Chudinov and Murray? Because actually, I think I've just seen Tom Gray's BoxBets tweeted that he thinks it's a 50-50. And I think I'm inclined to agree. I actually think it's a really evenly matched fight.
What Chudinov is this? Is this the one that Eubank beat the piss out of?
Yeah.
Dmitry Chudinov, is it?
Oh, man, he is dreadful.
Yeah, but Murray's shit.
He was European champion. He was European champion, mate. He was an okay fighter.
He's not great, but, like, Murray's not great. So you've got two guys who aren't great, and you've got one of those two guys who barely throws punches. I know I'm going to favour in that fight.
I think Murray will beat him, whether he deserves it or not. But I don't think... I'm not sure, actually. I think Murray will beat him quite convincingly. 8-4, maybe.
Oh, Murray never wins, like, fucking convincingly. Ever. Like, even against bums, he fucking ekes it out.
The only thing this Chudinov had was he was tough. From what I remember from that Eubank fight, he took a hell of a beating.
Yeah,
but
and
he offered nothing.
That Chudinov iced a guy that Triple G couldn't ice. FYI.
I don't think Chudinov's terrible. I think he's a solid European level guy, and I also think Murray is a European level guy. There's nothing, no shame in it. Not trying to insult him or anything. I think it's a really close fight, and assuming, fair judging, I think it's going to be right on a knife edge. There might be a bit of money to be made there.
Yeah, but remember, I hope Earn doesn't try and fuck about, because remember what happened when Frank tried fucking about, and Big Vlad went fucking mental.
This is the sort of opportunity where Paul Smith could just step up and take the Murray fight. Yeah,
it should have been. That should have been the fight, and they've not done it. I don't fucking like. He's a fucking
Smith versus Murray, loser retires. That's what should have happened. Yeah.
Or they both retire.
Here's one then, and you know what I've said: if certain fighters reject fights, they can't win the fucking Dream Boy title on a serious level. Do you think if fighters turn down so many fights without good reason, so like Paul Smith turned down 30 fights in the last 2 weeks, do you think that they should just have the license taken from him?
There's probably. Yeah, but they can justify it by all sorts of reasons, can't they? Going, I should get paid more for that. I don't want to travel.
Yeah, but then they can look at what's on offer and what the fucking, and then they've got to. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm not getting paid enough." Like Paul Smith can't say that he's not getting paid enough to fight Chavez, and then go and fight another idiot like Daniel Rigi. That's not how it works.
Yeah, you can't say. Chavez is trying to rip me off on the financials, and then how much would he have got paid to fight Rigi? 10 grand?
Quarter pint of a cheese meal on the way home. on the way back at the Liverpool.
No, but even he can't. It's what it's going to be 5 grand. If he's getting 10 grand for that, he's fucking.
There is no way Chavez offered him less than 10 grand. That just did not happen. Chavez.
No, but what you got to think about is the water retention that plagued him so horribly in the Ward fight would come to the fore again.
Chavez should have to come to Anfield to fight, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the only way that fight can happen at Anfield.
Honestly, Chavez would have absolutely beat the fucking piss out of Smith, and I reckon he'd retire him. And
he would have been over 12. It would have been a 12-round absolute beating because Chavez would
and a fake Chavez would be stoned as well.
He would have just punched his body. He would have punched it. He would probably have landed 500 body shots over the 12 rounds. Smith does not move. He would have absolutely pulverized it, and I think Smith probably asked for something mental, like £500,000 or something.
Like, what do you... Right, so, like, Paul Smith, I don't think should really be expecting to ever get more than 100 grand for a fight. If Paul Smith gets off 100 grand, that should be a fucking extortionate amount. Because he's not...
That's
never...
Like,
you know,
like £1 million to a talented fighter, yeah.
I just... a lot of delusion.
Do we think that it's Smith holding out for what he thinks he can get more against someone else? Or do we think that Chavez genuinely tried to offer him like 20 grand or something to go over and get beaten up?
He's waiting for this De Carolis fight, isn't he? Because he was supposed to get the winner if it wouldn't have been a draw last time. So
he wouldn't have got that much money for that fight, would he?
No, but he probably thinks it's fucking a little easy fight he can go and win. But I've just seen here, right? So the De Carolis Zoga fight is for the WBA super middleweight title, just the regular. It's there's also the Global Boxing Union super middleweight title on the line as well.
GBU.
Yeah. So
very prestigious.
Real prestigious belt.
I think the Dream Boy title is more prestigious than that.
It fucking definitely is. Definitely. But yeah.
Okay, right. So that's Paul Smith and fake Chavez. I guess they could have an eating contest, couldn't they, if they don't want to have a fight? Who could put away the burgers better out of those two?
Chavez. No, you see that picture of
Chavez would be stoned as well, so he'd have the munchies.
Yeah. Imagine Smith on the fucking weed and then going out, driving out to McDonald's or whatever.
He's miserable as fuck as it is. Can you imagine if he was just there, stoned in a sofa or something, just not really being able to function? Just how repulsive he is.
Yeah, he's disgusting. He's like a slug, like a hairy slug. Yeah, disgusting one. Genuinely, I genuinely hate him.
So do I. I was just going to say I hate him so much, and I can't describe why I don't like him. There's too many things to list, but
it's on like a sort of chromosomal level, like a cellular level. I fucking hate him. Yeah, I agree with you. He has no redeeming featers at all.
No, like even when I close my eyes and I think of someone that I really don't like, it's like Paul Smith that I think of.
Yeah. All of the brothers, despite being twats, have at least sort of one redeeming feature, each of them, where you think.
Let's list them.
I like Stephen.
Crusty neck.
Stephen is all right and isn't nowhere near as bad as the others. Callum Smith genuinely seems like he would actually be quite polite if you met him. Do you know what I mean? He wouldn't be a knobhead to you, like really arrogant and rude. Also, he doesn't block people because I've taken the piss out of him before and tagged him in. He hasn't blocked me. Liam genuinely seems like he does have a sense of humour, even if he's a bit of a chippy twat.
He doesn't like headbands.
No, whereas like Paul is there's just nothing. There's no redeeming.
It's like I've seen people get blocked on Twitter for literally asking him questions before, and it's like what?
Literally saying
Stephen's funny, man. He just joins in with it. He don't really give a shit. He's not.
Yeah, the others can kind of take it a little bit as well as dishing it out. It's weird.
Stephen sent Toby to hell as well.
Yeah, that was fucking hilarious.
Has Toby deactivated or whatever?
Yeah, he's not resurfaced yet.
Oh, poor guy. After spending millions of pounds on the Smiths sponsorship.
Dallas.
I really fucking hope no matching fighter ever fights in Dallas again. That did my head in, honestly.
Dallas, do you mean?
Yeah. Why? How do you not pronounce Dallas properly? Mental. It's like
Sorry,
have you not seen their interview with Tom Dallas from the weekend?
Yeah. Have you not seen the map, mate? It's Dallas, Dallis, and there's no two A's in it, mate.
Dallas.
Dallas.
It's like the way.
Cast is 5 TV, so she's matched in my bay.
No, Helder's worse than Coogan for it. The way, also the other thing that annoys me is the way they say Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday, Tuesday. You know, they say D instead of day. It's mental.
Are we going to talk about Manny instead of how their fucking Chuckle Brothers pronounce days of the week?
No, yeah. We're here on a Tuesday in Dallas. Yeah, we'll talk about Manny. Do an impression of Manny if you want.
Incidentally,
can't be doing an impression of Manny.
Speak to my promoter, Bob Arum.
I'm glad you said that and not something absolutely mental.
I didn't know what to say.
I thought you were going to say something absolutely crazy. Right. So, yeah, obviously this Saturday we've got Pacquiao versus Jesse Vargas for Vargas's WBO belt.
Come on, Jesse.
No, Manny's got a belt as well, hasn't he? I think at one.
No, he hasn't.
No, that fight with Tim Bradley was just like bullshit WBO.
Champion of the fucking...
Yeah, champion of the champions or some shit like that.
Oh, I thought that was for a real belt.
No, the WBO was make them fake ones for Manny. Like, oh yeah, champion of the decade. Like, what decade? Oh, we don't know. Just any decade. Like, it doesn't even say. Just which decade is this for? Well, you choose. Like, in fact, did he not get chinned actually when he was fucking fighting for the champion of the decade one? I'm sure that's when he got chinned off.
Off Marquez, yeah, maybe.
So he's not even champion of any decade.
Fighter of the decade. Fighter of the decade. Ring magazine.
I don't give a fuck about them casuals.
Right. Yeah, no, guys, you're quite right. It's he's fighting Jesse Vargas, who's 27-1, and it is for the WBO title only, which Vargas obviously won against Saddam Ali in February or whatever. Wow. Which I have as a fringe contender for Fight of the Year. I really enjoyed Vargas Ali. I think it was a really, really good fight.
Was that with Tony Thompson and Ortiz on the undercard?
No, Thompson Ortiz was headlining, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was on the undercard. I thought Jesse Vargas headlined it.
No. Weirdly enough, the world title fight was on the undercard, strangely. But no, it was a I've rewatched it about 3 or 4 times since. I really enjoy it as a fight. The tactics and the shifts in momentum, and then obviously he had a great knockout at the end of it. And I don't hate Vargas like some people do. I mean, he's not a sort of sensational fighter in any way, but I don't know. He seems like a nice guy. He tries to get the knockout. You know, he comes forward as much as he can. I think he does the best with what he's got, if you know what I mean. And I think I actually don't think the fight will be that bad. I expect Pacquiao to win quite well. I think Vargas is too slow. I think that's what's going to make the difference.
You say that, but from the videos I've seen, and Ainsley mentioned this earlier on, and he's deceptively quick. He's not as slow as you think he is.
He's got fast hands, man.
He's got good time, I think, but I don't think he's that fast.
What should the videos that they've been putting out? Like, he can put punches together very fast. Whether he can do it in a fight is different, but...
that's the thing. He can't do it in a fight. That was always the criticism of him. He's a 1-2 kind of guy. He'd throw 1-2, straight, jab, right hand, and you wouldn't see him like Pacquiao used to be, throwing 6 or 7 punches in a row.
Yeah, but he might not be on as much magic dust as Manny was.
Yeah, maybe he's improved. Completely possible that I think he's only like 27. I'm sure he is improving, and he seems to have a good relationship with his new trainer. So look, I've got no issue with. I said earlier or last week actually that I had, because we know that sooner or later Pacquiao's going to lose, right? And then he'll probably be finished.
Yeah,
he knows he's at the end. He's not training as hard as he used to. He's still naturally talented enough to beat 99% of the guys out there, but he's not the same kind of relentless fighter with that same hunger and that same desire that he had 10 years ago, or even sort of 6 or 7 years ago. But is Vargas good enough to sort of make him look old? I don't think he is. I see it being a sort of fairly comfortable Pacquiao decision. How do you guys see it?
Well,
I think I've said this before to you on here, and I think it depends how much Pacquiao cares and how hard he has been training, because Roach can say all he wants, like, oh, he's been hurting my shoulders, but he said that for the last fucking 10, 15 fights. So are we going to get a knockout? First round knockout, whatever, the bloke's full of shit. I'm more inclined to believe Bob Arum about it, but then he might be doing his promoter spiel, saying that obviously it's made a difference, man. He's not in as good a condition as he could or should be.
Having said that, I think people go on about the knockout thing for Pacquiao. I think he's actually got quite unlucky with knockouts. I thought they should have stopped the Algieri fight. I thought that should have definitely been stopped by the referee. Especially, I think it was in the 8th round or whatever when Pacquiao put him down twice, really heavily. I think he was all over the place, and the referee should have definitely waved that off. He obviously should have got a knockout against Margarito. That was ridiculous that fight was allowed to go 12 rounds.
But then they're stoppages. They're not him laying people out like he was before.
It's TKO though, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, I'll give you that. But at the same time, he's not the same fighter that he was then. No, he's not even.
I agree with you. But I do think there's a few guys that, given a bit more luck, he could have got stoppages against.
Well, it is what it is, isn't it? He didn't, so.
Yeah.
But I just don't think he cares at all. He's in it literally for. I know you were going to say, well, they're all in it for money, but. You think Jesse Vargas actually wants to win because he's hungry? I don't think Pacquiao really gives a fuck. He is fighting purely for money. And if you're fighting for money and you don't care either way, I think you're going to get beat sooner or later. Is Vargas good enough to do it? Maybe not, but I hope he is because I just want Manny to fuck off now. I've had enough. Just get gone. Let the sport move on. Same as Floyd. Both fuck off. Enjoy your millions.
You want wouldn't you like to have the Crawford fight next year?
Not really. There's fights for Crawford if Manny loses to Vargas, and I think Crawford would beat Pacquiao quite easily now. Even though I would want to see it like kind of passing the torch. You get what you're saying there, but nah, it's the only fight. It's the only fight I want to see Manny in.
Vargas, Pacquiao is 1-10 on to beat Vargas. That's wider than I expected.
But it's because of the history in it, and obviously Vargas got beat by Tim.
Vargas 11
Pacquiao just scored
11-2 on Vargas to win by either. What about Vargas on? Let's have a look at them. Let me have a look at points because I don't see a knockout coming in.
Is Bob going to do his little thing though, where he pulls a stunt and then just robs money to get rid of him?
That's what I showed you that video, didn't I, Ainsley? Bob in the wild card, and he don't really seem like he's that interested in promoting Pacquiao really anymore. Although he's taking it upon himself to do his own pay-per-view, so he must be at the end of the day.
Aaron will lose money on this fight, definitely, 100%. But that's kind of to be. Pacquiao has made Aaron so much money that he he's got 2 fights left with him, hasn't he? He's got this one +1, and Aaron lost money on this. I imagine he probably lost money on Pacquiao Bradley too.
Oh, he lost shit money on that.
Yeah. And I think he's taken a hit of probably 40 million quid in the last year or so of Pacquiao's career. But
he probably made
him 400 million over the course of the last 15 years. So he can't really complain. I think Crawford Pacquiao could potentially actually make a profit if it's promoted right. I think that's a fight that could do sort of 600, 700,000 buys if it's done right. I don't know does anyone know what Crawford Postol did? Did they ever release the numbers for that?
Apparently he done 100K. Who's got the thing on?
Postol's not a name, is he, at all?
Yeah.
Let me have a look. PPV buys.
How many do you think Ward Kovalev will do? Because I reckon that could do fuck all because there's been no promotion for it.
60K Postol Crawford did. Not very good.
Fucking hell. I reckon Ward fucking Kovalev could do really bad.
I think Ward Kovalev will do maybe 100K, just because I think both are reasonably well known.
That's bad, though, if you think.
About the same as Golovkin Lemieux, maybe?
100K is terrible, though, if you think about it.
100K is quite normal for guys who are just starting out on pay-per-view. I mean, this will be Kovalev's first pay-per-view fight, won't it?
Yeah, but if you think some of the fucking shit
that Ward had a pay-per-view fight before.
Was Dawson pay-per-view? I don't know.
Doubtful.
No, I don't think it was. I think this is Ward's first as well.
Yeah, I think you might be right. In which case, look, Mayweather was on 100 grand, 100K, 150K until he fought Gatti, right? Pacquiao was on way below 500,000 until he fought.
Oscar.
De La Hoya was Oscar. Yeah, De La Hoya was the one that really bumped him up. De La Hoya was the one that bumped most of them up. But now, the equivalent of De La Hoya, who is the Floyds and the Pacquiaos of this era, they won't fight the up and coming guys to give them the leg over. I think.
Hey, Chef, I was saying this to you the other day. There is no fucking way Although, despite what Roach says that they're up for that fight, there's no way Roach would let him fight Crawford. Not a chance.
For enough money, I think he would.
No, not a chance.
I don't think Roach wants to lose with money again, and because you've seen how much you were raging about the Floyd one.
Yeah, but look, his legacy's secure, right? Pacquiao's. I think if they could get 20 million quid to fight Crawford, I think Roach would say, yeah, do you know what? Look, we may not win this fight, but this is going to secure your future, and then you can go off and do whatever you want, and you can go and
force the death penalty and stuff like that.
You can go and kill homosexuals and whatever else you want in the
It's not them, it's drug dealers he's killing.
Yeah, but you know, if Orlando Cruz beats Flanagan, I reckon he'll make that fight. I reckon you'll see Cruz versus Manny.
Who's coming? Is Manny going down in weight, or is
he'll go
Orlando Cruz going up?
That. He'll go to 35 for that.
And they'll fight it in the Philippines, and it will be called like Good versus Evil or something.
The loser gets lynched.
Or right, guys. Here's another question: do we think that this next year will be Floyd versus Pacquiao too? Because a lot of people do still.
Floyd's definitely not coming back. Floyd's definitely not coming back.
Really?
If it'd come back this year, he's not stupid. He's not going to wait an extra year when he's getting into fucking got towards his 40s. He's done. He's done.
You don't think he'll come back and have a novelty fight against a safe opponent?
No, and like he's being set like with the shit with his uncle being dead ill and then his dad's getting ill and that. I don't think he's
very. Roger is not well at all, and I think
he's in the gym again now. Roger is.
Yeah, but he's got like early dementia and stuff. He like wanders off and goes missing and stuff, and it's not good. I think Mayweather is. I think Ainsley's right. He's very, very conscious of how it's affected his dad and his uncle, and he doesn't want that to happen to him.
Smart.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's being very clever. He's realised it's not worth the risk, basically, to have another fight, or at least to have several more fights. Because Floyd could fight for the next 2 or 3 years and probably never lose, but that would be risky for his health. I really struggle with the idea of him stopping on 49. I don't see why he'd do that.
Well, he said he's only going to fight for 100 million plus, and the only one to do that against is probably Manny, isn't it?
I don't think it would.
Canelo,
I don't know because
Canelo's too big for it now.
I don't think he is. I still think that'd be pretty similar, but
yeah, I know, but they couldn't do any bullshit like
come
down to 152. Canelo would just say, "Go fuck yourself."
But I mean, it's still hard to get the taste out of the mouth of how shit Canelo was the first time. I don't think it'll sell that much to.
Well, not even that it won't sell. It's just Floyd's not going to go to 154 or 155 for it, is he? He's not going to give Canelo that big of a size advantage on him. And Canelo's not going to boil down to 152 again, because that's the whole reason he's trying to Gio Golovkin down in weight, isn't it? Because he's learned from Floyd.
It's his own fault. He fucking said it in the build-up.
No, I'm not disputing that he said or didn't say anything. But if Floyd said, we'll do it again at 152, Canelo would be like, come and fuck yourself. And Floyd's not going to fight him at 154 when Canelo's got that big.
There's no point. I won't want to see that again. I
don't want to see Manny versus Floyd again, though.
I don't want to see him fight again.
People say it's 1 versus 2, but who cares? It was a shit fight, and it'd be a shit fight again, probably worse.
Here's the question then. If Floyd's going to come back, who do you want to see him fight?
I don't want to see him come back.
So you wouldn't want to see him come back and fight Crawford at 147, say?
No.
Okay. You wouldn't want to see him fight...
The only one maybe is if Thurman knocks out Garcia. I might like to see him fight Thurman, even though I think he'd beat Thurman quite easily, obviously. We wouldn't mind seeing that, but Crawford can stick to doing what he's doing at 140, clean up there, beat Ricky Burns again. Unify that.
Do you think Floyd could get a decision over Burns
in that division before you worry about fighting Floyd?
I'm not even kidding. If Floyd fought Burns in Glasgow, I'd genuinely be like, he's going to get fucking robbed here.
He would get a very narrow 7-5 decision against Burns.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We couldn't ship in Kenny Bayless as the ref, so.
Yeah, that's true, actually. You'd have Victor Laughlin.
Nah, it'd be Terry O'Connor. Victor Laughlin would be scoring it, and he'd chalk up his 120, 108 card on the way to the arena.
Yeah. Here's a question. What about Floyd versus a bear?
Well, it was done in 1949.
What sort of bear?
Polar bear.
It looked like in the picture, Ainsley, of that story that we had earlier. I think it was a brown bear, so not one of those giant grizzlies, but a sort of pretty big bear.
What? No, have you seen the news story that the world's saddest polar bear that lives in some shopping mall in Russia?
Yeah, like, why are we fucking talking about this?
They should ship in that bear because that bear's ready to commit suicide anyway, so that's an easy win for Floyd.
The bear will quit on its stool. Yeah.
Exactly. He could beat that bear. And then he could be the only boxer to retire 50-0 beating a polar bear.
Is that bear called Miguel?
Huh?
Yeah. Is the bear called Miguel?
I don't know what it's called.
Miguel.
He would say he's the greatest. He's the greatest boxer of all time, and he's also the greatest poacher of all
time. TBP.
Yeah, TBP. And then Brian would show up in Vegas wearing like a safari hat.
No, but Brian's like an animal rights activist, isn't he? But if Floyd turned to poaching, Brian would be straight out on the bloody savannah shooting at lions and stuff.
If a video turned out of Floyd kicking a dog, Brian would start kicking his own dog the next day. And then he'd be sending videos to the money team's account of him hooping his dog down the stairs.
Imagine, okay then, let's think of the situation. If Floyd come back, right? Say to fight Kelbrook, and it was going to be at Wembley, and he decided, my dad's too he's not well enough to train me now, and he decided to train with Joe Gallagher.
Yeah. Is Gallagher bad enough that he could essentially ruin Floyd as a fighter?
Yeah. Imagine if he takes all of Floyd's elusiveness and skill away, and Floyd's just there trying to take a left hook to the body.
Yeah. Just say to Floyd, just don't throw anything. Just lose the rounds. Just lose them.
You're jabbing too much. You're jabbing too much. I want you to stand your ground, and I want you to bang him to the body. It'll be. Oh, that would be amazing.
Scott Quinn doing Floyd Mayweather's corner with Joe Gallagher.
Yeah, you've got the Smiths carrying belts out and that. So he's gone from fucking Justin Bieber and Lil Wayne. He's going to the Smith Bros, Scott Quinn, Scotty the Surgeon, and fucking Big Toby fucking carrying his belts out.
No, he'll have Toby's company name on his shorts.
Yeah.
Toby's tips.
And the arm carrying all his belts, yeah.
Instead of Hunlot, he's got Toby's tips on his shorts.
Toby's tips, yeah.
But would Brian then convert to Gallagher's gym?
Of course he would.
He'd have to, yeah. Amir Khan's gym. Right, guys. So just very, very quickly before we finish, the undercard for Pacquiao Vargas is sort of taking shape. A very interesting co-main, I think, which is Donaire against Nonito Donaire, obviously WBO champion at 122, up against
Jesse Magdaleno.
Jesse Magdaleno, who is
Diego's in it.
Younger brother of Diego, and I know we've all laughed at Diego. Jesse is a lot better than Diego. Just to say that off the bat. Relatively untested, above sort of NABO level, I would say, but he's incredibly highly rated.
What's his record like? Is it 23 wins with 17 KOs or something along them lines, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to get it up for you now. Donaire is 37-3. Magdaleno is 23-0. With 17 knockouts. He's 24. He's quite big. He's coming down to featherweight. He's actually fought up at super feather.
Shep, is Jesse Magdaleno one of Bob's or not? Or is he just an opponent being farmed in?
Magdaleno is a top-ranked guy, and he is he's very, very highly rated within top rank.
That's Donaire getting put into retirement then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying Donaire doesn't have enough in the tank for one, because Donaire's still a very good fighter, but this is set up for Magdaleno. He's
been treading the line between, blurring the line between winning and losing the last few, though. Other than the one in the Philippines.
It was that shit fight.
Magdaleno is being brought in to win this, 100%. He's the future for them in that division, and also he is a featherweight, and he's going down to super bantam, and I think that will make a difference. I mean, his best win, Christ.
Like, have they made him go down to?
He's fought at NABO level.
Chef,
really.
Have they made him go down to Super Bantam because they've got Oscar Valdez at feather?
I think it's just a case of
he's fought Super Bantamweight before. It's sort of showing
he has fought there before. He has fought there before, but he started out as a feather, and I think he's dropped down. And I think maybe they thought, Carpy, there's a much easier route to a title at Super Bantam than there is at feather, because we know featherweight is one of the most in terms of the champions. Featherweight is a very, very tough division at the moment.
Yeah.
And this is big. If you can get decent odds on Magdaleno, I would say that's where the smart money is going to go, because this is really, it may go horribly wrong, as crossroads fights sometimes do, but this is being set up for Magdaleno to look good and for Donaire to be kind of Donaire's last stand, if that makes sense. You know that guy Juarez, who Donaire had a war with last year?
Yeah.
Magdaleno is a lot better than him. So if he's going to war with guys like Juarez, then you'd have to. I fancy Magdaleno to beat him on points here. I think Donaire will go 12, but I fancy Magdaleno. Yeah, he does. But I think he's one, like you said a minute ago, Carpy, that he's kind of mentally checking out. You know, he's a bit like Pacquiao. He's kind of doing it because he still can. I don't think he truly loves it anymore. And he's not. His heart's not as in it as it was, 5 or 6 years ago when he was fighter of the year and all the rest of it. I think Rigo broke him, and he's not been the same since. I think that's it on the undercard. Really,
Oscar Valdez is on it as well.
Yeah, but I think he's fighting some absolute.
He's fighting some Chinese double gold medalist, I think, something along them, or a gold medalist.
He's fighting a Japanese guy,
and Zhu Shiming's on the undercard as well.
Also, yeah,
he's fighting for a world title, I think.
He is, yeah, against a guy he already beat. So that's basically a title grab for a vacant belt.
He's another one.
It's that guy. Is it not the guy who looks like Manny Pacquiao who he fought ages ago that he's fighting again?
He fought him in Macau, didn't he?
I think it might be him. I've just seen there's a guy called Sutcliffe fighting in Belfast.
Go on, Peter.
Yeah, he's fighting Chris. He's fighting Chris Jenkins soon, so you'll get an interview with Jackson Park, no doubt.
Peter Sutcliffe is another friend of the pod.
Yes, big time. Also on that card, Zhu Shiming fighting for a vacant flyweight belt against a guy trying to get his picture up. Ainsley, I think it is the guy who
looks like Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, who looked like Pacquiao. And when did he fight Zhu before?
It was on the Chris Algieri undercard in Macau.
2014, he fought him, and he lost it. He lost the unanimous decision. So he's 35. You have to favour Zhu here, although he's not that much younger. And then below him, you have, just interestingly enough, Conceição, the Brazilian gold medalist, is making his debut. And another one, I'm very excited to see him moving quickly, because I think Conceição is a good fighter. He's got a good pro style. He's kind of pressure fighter, good sort of mauling style. And I think he is, I'm trying to see his age. I think he's 27 over. And I think you might see him getting moved quite quickly. He's a lightweight. Again, Top Rank have a few lightweights that they could match him with on the way up. I think he could be another one that's pushed quickly. All in all, I've got a friend's birthday that night, so I don't think I'll be staying up for it. But I might put a bit of money on Magdaleno to win if I can get decent odds. I don't think I've found odds on it yet. But Donaire is being set up to lose on Saturday.
Good, it's about time. Fuck him. I'm only kidding. I don't mind Donaire, but he's another one a bit bored of it. He fucking got a belt because Rigondo got robbed of it. And then
never been interested in the rematch, which is a shame.
I just can't be arsed with Donaire anymore. Like, it's like getting the belt at featherweight was a fucking load of bullshit. They sort of mugged off the Tekia when he won that. It's just like recent form since Rigondo. I've really not been bothered about.
This is what I'm saying, Ainsley. I just want all the old guard to go. I've had enough of them all.
I know they're all the.
You stripped all the lineal titles. I'm going to enforce retirements on a lot of them next week.
Just not sanctioned. Fuck them.
Oh, mate. Ainsley, on Saturday night in Poland, Darius Sek, who is 26-2-1, a light heavyweight, is fighting. See if you remember this name. A certain Mr. Mustafa Chadlioui. Do you remember him?
Is he the guy who fucking sent one of the Dickinsons straight to hell?
Nice Travis Dickinson in 90 seconds in Newcastle.
Oh, that was unreal.
Genuinely one of my favourite ever fights.
Hold on. I'm swear there's like a fucking... it might have happened the other week, but I'm sure there's a card in Poland, right? And it's happening in a fucking mine, like an old abandoned mine underground. And it might be that card. I remember seeing it, and I was like...
Chadliouy's a road warrior, mate. Chadlioui will fight in a mine. No worry. No danger.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. It could be that card. I'm just having it. Joe Hanks is fighting next week.
Have you seen what Tom has just put in there? Pop's just put in a WhatsApp chat.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. I was gonna, yeah. Oh, Dennis Dougley, Mama's boys fighting this weekend.
There's some absolute. That fucking Pianetta's fighting as well. Jesus Christ, all the old boys are out.
Let's have a look. Oh, Galen Brown's fighting. What a man.
Brizuela's fighting in Argentina. Amazing. Honestly, what a night.
Right, I'm going to go through. Let's go through.
Who's he fighting?
He's oh my God, amazing. I didn't even know about this. Brizuela's fighting that Rueda who Valdez iced the last time out. Remember? That could be a real war, you know. That could be a great fight. They're fighting for the Argentinian featherweight title.
So fucking Brizuela's back down at featherweight after fighting Tommy Coyle at 135 and nearly icing him about 8 times.
And Stephen Smith.
Oh my God.
Right, wrap this some bitch up.
Wait, I'm just looking because there's got to be a few more fucking rogue elements out this weekend now.
This is an absolutely historic night of boxing though on Saturday coming up.
Dyer Davis fighting, one of James Dale's old fucking opponents. What a sack of shit he was. Oh my God.
This is the best night of boxing I've seen in years.
There are some absolute bums on show. Stephen Orman's out this weekend on... Oh wait, it's Sutcliffe versus Jenkins this weekend. That's the fight.
Yeah, exactly. Sutcliffe Jenkins, the old rivalry.
Can't wait for that.
Carpy, which one are you most excited about out of the ones we've just mentioned?
Probably Brazil.
Brizuela.
Brazil, is he?
Oh, I thought you said Brazil.
No, Brizuela.
Oh no, I wasn't really listening. Brizuela then, yeah.
The guy who fought Campbell, Smith, and
yeah, I know, yeah. Obviously.
There's got to be.
Honestly, I'm excited about Chadlioui. I might try and get a stream for that. If anyone can get a stream for the card from Poland on Saturday night, please let me know.
See who else was on that card? He's only the original Road Warrior, Michael Sprott.
Sprott.
Oh, that card. We've got to watch that card.
Yeah, it's a sensational night of boxing from Poland.
Right? And the co-main is the fight we've all been wanting. I am fucking positive this is the fucking card in the mine. I'm positive. I'm going to check it because it's got the women on. It's got women European lightweight title, and I fucking swear that was on it. I'm sure this is the one.
Lindsay, what you're saying is Michael Sprott is fighting this weekend in a mine.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Do you reckon he'll get the AJ rematch if he looks good?
Oh, definitely. It's nailed on, isn't it? Nailed on.
Oh, dear. Right. Everyone, thank you very much for bearing with us. Obviously, we had to stretch that out a bit because that's really.
You said at the beginning it was going to be a shorter show. We've gone on like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah. If anybody's got any information on this card, this fucking Polish one, please just let us know because I am fucking sure that it's going on like this. Oh, I'm sure that this is the one that's in the mine.
The chat is buzzing about the mine, genuinely.
Right. Who was it? Who was fucking... There was a call. I can't remember now. I'm going to have to find it. I'm going to find it.
They think it might be a salt mine near Krakow.
Yeah, that's it. That sounds about right.
Oh, dear.
What is... Oh, is it that one? It could be. Right. I don't know to ask about this. I don't know if I've seen it.
Let's tweet it off the pod account and wrap it up because Carpy's got to go to bed soon because he's getting grumpy. I can hear it in his voice.
Yeah. All right.
He's already fucked off. I didn't even know.
Nice for him to say goodbye.
Guys, thank you very much for listening, and we will be back with a bigger pod next weekend when we can actually do. We'll have some fights to review and fights to look forward to. But yeah, thanks for bearing with us, and see you again next week.
See you later. Bye.